Stop wasting compost. How nature builds soil in your raised beds. If you've spent the past few seasons wheeling endless loads of compost into your raised beds only to watch the soil sink, compact, and fade away before mid-season, you're not alone. It's frustrating, exhausting, and honestly, pretty expensive. The truth is, filling beds with pure compost isn't just inefficient, it's actually working against you. Compost is wonderful, but it's not soil, it's microbial food. When you use it as the main filler for your raised beds, it decomposes quickly, the level drops, and you end up constantly topping up. This cycle wastes time, money, and the full potential of your soil ecosystem. Before we dive into how you can completely transform your raised beds this fall, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share this video with a fellow gardener, leave a comment below with your favorite soil tip, and make sure you subscribe to Nature's Flora for more practical, science-backed gardening strategies. Now, let's talk about building soil the way nature intended. Why compost alone isn't enough. Most gardeners think of compost as soil. They see the dark, rich material and assume it will magically sustain plants all season. But compost is designed to feed microbes, not provide long-term structure. When you fill a bed with compost, it decomposes rapidly, turning into carbon dioxide and water, leaving the soil behind to collapse. Over time, you're essentially starting from scratch each season, instead of building a self-sustaining ecosystem. Another hidden problem is nutrient imbalance. Pure compost often has an excess of soluble nitrogen in the early stages. Plants respond with lush, weak growth, and as the season progresses, the soil struggles to retain moisture and nutrients. Your plants may look healthy at first, but by mid-season, they're fighting for survival. The solution is simpler than you might think, and far more effective. Instead of hauling wheelbarrows of finished compost, you can harness the abundant organic materials that fall naturally provides: leaves, stems, spent garden plants, and a touch of nitrogen-rich material. This approach mimics the way forests, meadows, and wild ecosystems build rich, fertile soil naturally. Layering for living soil. This technique, often called lasagna gardening or sheet composting, is essentially letting nature do the work for you. It's about layering carbon and nitrogen materials right in your beds, creating a living system that microbes and worms will transform into dark, crumbly humus over the winter. Start by clearing your beds of old mulch or weeds. If the soil is dry, water it well. Microbes need moisture to thrive. Begin with a carbon layer roughly 10 to 15 centimeters thick. Shredded leaves, straw, corn stalks, or even cardboard work beautifully here. On top of this, add a nitrogen layer, green, moist material like grass clippings, kitchen scraps, or spent garden plants. The ratio should roughly be 2 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen by volume. Carbon provides structure and aeration, while nitrogen fuels microbial activity, creating the perfect environment for decomposition. Repeat these layers until your bed is filled, finishing with a thin layer of soil or compost, just enough to hold everything in place and prevent drying. Moisture is key. Water each layer lightly as you build, then give the entire bed a thorough soak when you're done. This encourages microbes to settle in and start breaking down the organic matter immediately. Microbial boosters for faster results. If you want to accelerate the process and ensure a thriving soil food web, you can add microbial inoculants. A simple homemade activator, such as diluted lactic acid bacteria serum or fermented plant juice, provides billions of beneficial microbes that kickstart decomposition. Alternatively, sprinkling a handful of finished compost or healthy garden soil between layers seeds the system with decomposers that will continue working throughout winter. Unlike traditional compost piles, this cold decomposition process conserves nutrients while creating a stable, fertile humus without high heat or nutrient loss. Over the winter, worms, fungi, and bacteria take over. The layers settle naturally, structure develops, and nutrients stabilize. By spring, your bed will be filled with dark, sweet-smelling soil, full of aggregates that indicate a healthy living system. Plants planted in the soil will establish faster, grow stronger, and face fewer pests and diseases because the soil ecosystem is balanced and resilient. Making it work in any garden is totally possible, even if you don't have a huge supply of organic material. This method is flexible. You can supplement your carbon layers with whatever you have on hand, things like wood chips, rice hulls, shredded paper, or even aged sawdust. Just remember to maintain a healthy balance with nitrogen-rich greens. For colder climates, cover your bed with a breathable tarp or maybe an old blanket to retain moisture and protect those microbes. In warmer areas, a light layer of straw or shredded leaves is usually sufficient. And, hey, adding trace minerals like rock dust or seaweed meal can further enrich your soil and support microbial activity. The beauty of this approach is that it builds a permanent foundation for fertility, rather than just a temporary patch. Every autumn, repeating this layering process improves the structure, moisture retention, and nutrient content of your beds. The soil will sink less, plants will thrive, and your garden will become progressively easier to manage season after season. Compost still has a role. It's perfect as a top dressing or to inoculate raw materials, but it's not the backbone of your raised bed. By letting decomposition happen in place, you're letting nature do the heavy lifting and creating a living, self-improving garden ecosystem. Take this method to heart, start layering this fall, and you'll see the difference by spring: healthier beds, stronger roots, and soil that builds itself season after season. Before we wrap up, don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your gardening friends, leave your questions or tips in the comments, and subscribe to Nature's Flora for more guides that turn ordinary gardening into extraordinary soil mastery. Trust me, once you start working with nature instead of against it, your raised beds will never be the same.